Steel Nation Live. I'm James Owen.
I'm Sanders Tisdale.
And tonight's show, we're going to go over our latest victory at home versus the New York Football Jets. Quarterback controversy. Is it there? Is it happening? We're going to talk about that. Is Mike Tomlin a genius? We don't hear any of those haters out there saying that Tomlin needs to be fired, but wait, we'll just hold on to that. A lot of stuff we're going to talk about. Giants coming to town next week, next Monday Night Football, when we return to Steeler Nation Live.
Hey, guys, welcome back. Steeler Nation Live. Sanders Tisdale.
James Owen.
Guys, a lot to talk about. Huge win by the Pittsburgh Steelers, doing it up, winning the game in Pittsburgh, national televised audience, Sunday night. The Steelers get it done, and James, they did it in fine fashion with a new QB.
Well, here's the deal. It didn't start off in fine fashion. In the way the Jets came out, perfect game plan against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They were moving the ball. Yeah, we're going to talk about the referees as well later in the show, and they had a lot to do with the first half. It almost took away, Sanders, the way the Jets were moving the ball. The defense had no answer for Rodgers or Hall. They were just controlling the game out of the gate. Well, not out of the gate. We had the ball first, but as soon as they got the ball, they just marched down the field like the defense wasn't even there. I mean, if you look at the replays, Watt is constantly held almost every play, and people out there, there's holding every play, but all these are play. But you know what? A fact is a fact, and we're going to call it out like that. But the controversy, if any controversy you want to talk about with the Pittsburgh Steelers, was who was starting quarterback. Now, me personally, you can roll back the tape, and I'm not going to deny this. I said it was a bad move for Mike Tomlin to take Justin Fields out of the starting quarterback and put in Russell Wilson. Now, Russell Wilson was slated as the number one quarterback coming into the season. There was no qualms about that. Justin Fields knew his role coming into the season. Who was the number one quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Fortunately for Fields, that Russell Wilson had that calf injury during training camp. So we had to go with a healthy Justin Fields as opposed to a somewhat healthy Russell Wilson. You don't want to push that at his age of a calf injury, but Justin Fields was doing the job. We talked about it every week. The Pittsburgh Steelers were slow out of the gate, but they were continually, gradually moving uphill. 4-2 record. Jets coming to town. Not that prolific in the NFL right now. The Jets are struggling on offense. They just got Devontae Adams from the Raiders in trade in hopes that could, add some. I don't even want to say depth, because if you look at the Jets offense, Aaron Rodgers has four amazing receivers to throw to. Okay. And Adams just, accented that. I mean, he brought a lot of talent to that team. So you look at the targets that Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl champion, Hall of Fame quarterback, he's going to wear the gold jacket. No problem. First time ballot. Aaron Rodgers. No problem with that. But when you add a weapon like Devontae Adams to that core, you could expect that there's going to be a lot of scoring. And plus, when you got Hall coming out of the backfield, tight end, not that prolific, but they're getting up there, right? So the Jets come into Pittsburgh, it looked like they might take this. And it looked at it at first, in the first half, it looked like the Jets were going to dominate this game. Bad defensive play. Offense not clicking just yet. I mean, Russell Wilson, if you remember his first couple of plays, he was. What do you say? Your brother said something that he was killing worms
yeah, right.
with his throws. He was worm killing with those throws, and he was absolutely right. And it just looked like the boo birds were coming out, and it looked like maybe Tomlin made a mistake of putting in Russell Wilson ahead of Justin Fields, but he warmed up, and the rest is history. First half. If the defense didn't come up with that interception before first half, I don't think the Steelers, the momentum would have changed. I don't think the Steelers would have came out as rough and tough as they did. Blocked the field goal. I mean, special teams has been amazing for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year with their new punter, amazing punting. The Wizard of Boz, don't want to jinx you there, Boz, but has only missed one field goal all season. All season.
Yeah.
The Steelers are 5-2, played 7 games. He's hit all extra points, and he missed that one field goal. I think it was like a 70-yard field goal against the wind, in the rain and snow, uphill both ways. I mean, it wasn't really a guaranteed field goal that Boswell was going to kick, and he just missed one field goal all season.
Yeah, and it's good to see Boswell out there still doing it. No matter what, it's still a struggle. They'll struggle from time to time, but you got to have that one study facet to your game. Just like with the Ravens, they still got their kicker. I don't know why his name just
Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker. Everything goes bad for them. This guy will still be there. He'll be the one at the end of the game, nailing it at the gun. And Pittsburgh definitely needs somebody just like that because they're going to be into a lot of close games, and he's still out there doing it. That's the thing that amazes me.
So you got, if folks at home, if you're watching the show, you can see what Tiz is wearing tonight.
Let me get out of the way.
His Mike Tomlin illustrated shirt. Look at this guy. The Mike Tomlin shirt. He pulled it out of nowhere. He pulled it out of the basement. He pulled it out of the boxes, buried in the basement. And why? I mean, this is why Mike Tomlin, you got to call it, folks. All you haters out there, call 585-210-3917. Prove me wrong, folks. I mean, only the third head coach in the past 60 years for the Pittsburgh Steelers hasn't had a losing season in his career as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. People question him. He needs to be fired. He needs to go. The offense is stagnant. They're not going anywhere. Kind of true. But then he pulls this move where he takes a starting quarterback is Justin Fields, 4-2 record, tied for the division lead in the AFC North, which is a hard division to play in, except if you're the Cleveland Browns. I had to do that. Gil, you know I love you, Gil. I love you, Gil. I know you're listening. You better call in. And then you take Justin Fields, and you're, like I said, you're continually going up the right path. You're going up the hill. You're winning. You're scoring more points. And then out of the blue, Tomlin says, we're going to put another quarterback in, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And
that was huge.
And everybody's like, well, this is the time. All right, he's going to be fired after this game for making a move like that. We're winning, and you're going to put in Russell Wilson. Well, folks, Russell Wilson played for the Denver Broncos last year. Horrible offensive line, 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, even on that team. So you put him in the Pittsburgh Steelers, you think he's going to do a lot better. So far, so good, Sanders.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, like I said again, I got to show all the haters that was
there you go.
The haters
there you go.
There. Tomlin this, Tomlin that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
He needs to go.
He needs to go.
Fire
he needs
Tomlin.
to do ABCD. Look, Roy. Look. That was a powerful decision what he made by going out there. Everyone beat him up, and they even said Tomlin was the one who made the final call and said, "No, we got to start him. I think he can do it. I think he's the one that can do it." And look where we are. That offense was the most explosive of the offense that we've seen that whole season.
Why is that, Sanders? Why? Because we're throwing the ball down the field. And if we
called it many times.
You look at the highlights, folks. You go back, the first catch that Pickens did on the sideline, he was being held. All right. There's no question. The referee is right there. Stevie Wonder could have made that call. Even though Pickens made the catch, you still have to throw the flag. He caught it with one hand. Now, come on now. Right in front of the referee. No pass interference. And the second catch he made later in the game on the other sidelines, same thing. Same thing. We got a phone caller.
Oh no. Nope, you're all set.
Yeah. Before I forget to mention, Mom watched the game last night. She had to tell me she watched the whole game. Now this woman is 80 plus years old. Okay. I know there's not much to do at home. Not much to do, but you know what? Stayed up and watched the game from start to finish. Gotta give it to her. Mom, you're out there. Steeler fans, Steeler Nation, and doing it right. So let me ask you this, folks at home, and Sanders over there with your Tomlin shirt on.
Yep.
Had the Steelers lost that game, do you think Tomlin would be on the hot seat, the chop block, or would the Rudy said, you know what? we're going to have to part ways. Folks, please call 585-210-3917. We want to hear your take. Do you think?
No. Honestly, I don't care who you are. If Tomlin would have lost that game, that would have been it. He would have had lost all types of respect in that league from the fact that you pulled out a starter that got you to 4-2, and you placed a guy who was getting beaten up by the league, got beat up, like you said, by the Denver Broncos. They said he was washed up. His coach made him look like an idiot out there. Then he left Seattle. You know, it was at the end of his career there, so it was time to move on. And like I said, went to Denver, but now he went to Pittsburgh. He sat there, didn't complain. That's the thing about it. A consummate pro. He didn't complain. He kept back there. He kept waiting. Then he finally gets in. And then when he gets in, and he does a heck of a job coming back from where he started. He started at the beginning of that game. Remember, he looked atrocious. I mean, I started watching the game, and like I told James, like he said, like my brother and them, they were saying, you know, he's down there beating up worms with throwing the ball in the dirt. And the thing about it is, he came back and had one heck of a performance for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which added to the mystique of what the Steelers do. We go out there, you play rough and tough defense, and if you got an offense that can score, look at what they do. 37 points, just like who just said, Steve Shannon said the most points in 2 years. That's what I mean. The most points in 2. I'm wearing the shirt. I'm wearing the shirt again. Where's it at? Where's that? You see Tomlin on the shirt?
Yeah.
You know, it was. There goes slow motion for you guys.
Look at that.
See the bottom two? Yeah. Like I said, that was a heck of a coach call for him to do that. Go out on a limb. You know, he to be honest, he had everything in the balance with that decision what he made, and it paid off. And there's been guys out there that have been saying he's a genius. Who knows? I mean, could he stink the next game? Of course he could.
Well, let me ask you this: since we're rolling on the subject of Tomlin, genius or luck? Since you flip out that word genius, so it just raised a question inside my mind: was it luck that he made the switch, or is it genius? Because you know, whether we believe it or not at home, folks, we like to think we're the best fans out there, but as a head coach, you should know more, just a little bit, at least a little bit more than the average fan or your crazy fan. You know what I'm saying? That's why you're a head coach. I mean, was it genius or was it luck? What do you think, folks? 585-210-3917. Let's hear your take. I look at the board and somebody said, let's talk about Derrick Henry. Let's talk about Derrick Henry. I mean, he's a beast. If you can tackle Derrick Henry, I mean, we've never had big issues with Derrick Henry. You would think that any team who played against Derrick Henry should have issues. And I remember going back to the times when he played for Nashville, that when we played them, we really didn't have an issue with them. And if you look at the stats, fact check me, prove me wrong, folks, that the Pittsburgh Steelers never allowed a 100 rushing yard game against Derrick Henry. Sometimes maybe close, but I don't think he passed that threshold of achieving 100 yards plus for the Titans when he played for them. So when we play the Ravens, I'm not worried about that at all. By the time we play the Ravens in a couple weeks, we're going to be probably the healthiest that we've been all season. And as long as Derek Watt continues to stay healthy and Cam Hayward continues to stay healthy, and Highsmith continues to stay healthy, we have a plethora of running linebackers in depth that can help out and add. Keanu Benton, he's coming up. Yeah. Loudermilk, he's coming up huge. Rotating. Agnagabi, he's coming in. I mean, defensive line, strategically, I think we're all set when we play the Ravens. So just to answer your question out there, yeah, he's doing great this year. But if you look at it, the multifaceted runs that he's on, he's averaging, just average runs, but he gets that 60-yard, 70-yard burst. And if you're not going to tackle him, then you're going to have over 150 yards, almost 200 yards rushing. It's those 1 carries that he takes the ball and goes down the field. And people,
like 80 yards.
I mean, what did he do? Sit back there? Wow, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry.
He did it again last night too.
He sure did.
Another long run. Hey, we also still got people on the board. We got Steve Shannon still putting out. He said, I say genius based on the tone of the schedule. If he sucked, he could switch back and go into the bye by planning on starting Fields later on. And I agreed to that, but it was the fact that he would have lost a lot of credibility. A lot of people would have been out there saying, you know what are you doing? What are you thinking? I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. And the fact is, he pulled it off. He pulled it off. And right now it's to the point of where people out there are saying, James, should we keep him continually for the rest of the season and probably bargain Fields? I mean, we're getting to the point there where.
No, absolutely not. We need to keep Fields. I mean, the trade deadline's coming up, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's talk that something huge is coming as far as trading for possibly a wide receiver. Justin Fields is not in that suggestive trade market right now, because if you look at other teams who don't have a true backup, like we'll talk about the Miami Dolphins there when Tua went down. Who is their backup? I mean, their whole team shut down, wide receiver and running back. I mean, it's just, you have to have that key that, in case of emergency, break glass. And to get rid of Fields would be a mistake, or get rid of Wilson would be a huge mistake for the Pittsburgh Steelers, because going the way we're going right now, we haven't really totally dominated a whole game per se. And if we go back a notch, that's not going to help the Pittsburgh Steelers in the long run. We may get the playoffs, but look, if you don't win the Super Bowl, you know how I feel, Sanders and folks at home, that it's a losing season. You could be 17-0, 18-0, 17-1, and not make it to the Super Bowl. That's a losing season. Mm-hmm. You're still going to make, you got some incentives in your contracts if you play as many games and snaps, whatever. Yeah, you get some more change in your pocket and your bank account. But the ultimate goal, obviously, is to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. And you have to be protected. You have to have the insurance policy. Speaking of the wide receivers, Pickens came up with a bunch of picks. We're going to go with the stats in a little while. But who else did he have to throw to? He's starting to throw to the tight ends. And we talked about this, before the show. Years. Yeah. So 2 tight ends. I know it's going to sound ridiculous, folks, but out of our 2 tight ends, we had 6 catches. 6 catches for our tight ends. And you go back into Roethlisberger and the Heath Miller days, that's unheard of. That's a first half stat with the amount of passes and catches that the tight ends of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like what Arthur Smith is doing. He's changing it up, and he's putting in some more double tight end, passing schemes, and it's working. Give the ball. Look at Darnell Washington. Look how big this kid is. Right. Oh my God. He's like 6'8", 6'9", 240, 250 pounds. Get him the ball. Right. Yeah. Look, I mean, we talked about this before in shows in the past, Sanders. How did Tom Brady and Gronk, how did that offense flourish?
Any successful. Hey, listen to me. And I want you guys out there, especially you Tomlin haters. Yeah, get you on there.
Look at that Tomlin.
Yeah. Let me get it again. Let me get it again. Look at slow motion.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. But check it out. You guys out there, I'm trying to tell you, this right here, where the Pittsburgh Steelers are pulling off, is going to be, I got a feeling this is going to be one great team right here. And the thing about it is, we're going to be able to pull it off. A lot of you guys out there, be ready for what's coming to you guys with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, don't get me wrong. Is there going to be some bad games from the quarterback play at times? Of course there is. We got a young line. We got a new offensive coordinator. Don't forget all that stuff. People forget. New offensive coordinator. Everybody on that defense is young. Matter of fact, the guys who's starting on the line for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just got drafted. So they knew in the league. No time to develop.
Yeah, and don't forget, we're now the injury bug is starting to hit the offensive line. We're shuffling around players, switching positions. We got guys coming in, playing positions that they haven't played before, and starting games they haven't started. I mean, we're still moving the ball. And look at Najee, back-to-back 100-yard games and a touchdown, back-to-back games.
Oh, I got a question there. I got to answer.
We got a question. Go ahead.
Oh, it's right up there. It says, you're giving the team all the credit in the world. Then they beat up on a depleted Jets team. But see, here's the difference. Here's a difference from when I know Pittsburgh is making a step.
There you go.
this can be a very depleted team. But you know what the Steelers usually do?
Play down to depletion. That's it.
That's the difference. We used to play down to their level.
Yeah, and we usually lose.
Right now, the game will be 15-18.
Yeah.
You know, and they would have all depleted linemen, the whole secondary, and then a backup quarterback, and we'd play down to their level. This is a difference. I mean, this is a difference for them to go out and destroy a team that they should beat. Look at the Buffalo Bills. And everybody gives the Buffalo Bill credit at time. They'll go out there and they'll blow out. Who did they just finish? Tennessee Titans.
Well,
a team that had nothing.
Well, getting back to the comment, now that it's sinking in now, depleted Jets. Can you explain depleted? I mean, you just got Devontae Adams, correct? You have 4 prolific wide receivers that Aaron Rodgers, who I said earlier, is a future Hall of Famer, first ballot choice, gold jacket wearing quarterback, Super Bowl champion, Aaron Rodgers, 4 prolific wide receivers and a running game with Breece Hall coming out of the backfield. He was unstoppable in the first half. So I don't know where you're getting depleted. Their secondary, yes. Okay, I'll give you that much. The secondary, a couple corners, safety, but they replace them. What about the Pittsburgh Steelers in their secondary, okay? Beanie Bishop, undrafted free agent to the Pittsburgh Steelers, makes 2 Aaron Rodgers interceptions. It wasn't like he was throwing the ball over in our secondary. Our secondary is depleted. If you want to talk about depleted secondary, the Pittsburgh Steelers are more depleted than the Jets. Okay, if you want to do tit for tat, that's it. But you have to explain to me. Yes, the Jets' record was 2-4 coming to the game. There's no depletion. It's you fired your head coach, or I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers fired his head coach. That's the only depletion right there. I mean, same offense. You get the defensive coordinator running the show now for the New York Football Jets. Come on. Yeah. You have to. Where's the depletion? You have a couple injured corners, or maybe a safety too as well.
Yeah, and we're still getting it out there. Actually, we're getting. Let me see. It said still think the Steelers should trade for a number two receiver.
Oh, absolutely.
Here, Cup is available for a 2nd-round pick. And he also said that Rodgers has concrete feet. He's a statue at this point. That's true.
Well,
that's true.
But he's got the arm, though.
Yeah. He's a statue, but he's a statue that can still hurt you.
Yeah,
you know what
Super
I mean?
Bowl statue.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like a Heisman Trophy statue. Right?
Exactly.
Just saying. But just because your record is 2-4 doesn't mean you're depleted. And we were 4-2, so we're 5-2 now, and you're 2-5, Jets. Sorry. And remember last week I said, Senator, I said, if you look at this, look at who we're playing down the road, right? Going into our bye, we can be 6-2. And I thought that this game with the Jets game would be like the deciding factor. I go in 5-3 at the bye. That's I can live with that.
Yep.
But 5-2. Now we're going to play the New York Football Giants at home next Monday night. I mean, there's a great opportunity for the Pittsburgh Steelers to go in 6-2. And brother, let me tell you, we need that because coming out of the bye, it's hell on wheels right there.
Yeah,
hell on wheels. We got to go to the Commanders, and Jaden Daniels is probably going to be healthy by then, and that's going to be a real challenge for the Pittsburgh Steelers defensively. So, yeah, I like I said 6-2.
Yep. There's another one somebody else put up there as well. They said, and what about the Jets offensive line? They are terrible with half of them being injured and like I said, they've got injuries. And Tomlin never makes an excuse. What does Tomlin always say? Next man up. He always says it. Next man up. The excuses to him doesn't matter. If you get paid to play football, you're on our team. You need to produce. And when we don't, there's been times we went into playoff games against the Bills. We didn't have TJ Watt. We didn't have this guy. We didn't have that guy. But when we lost, what people said? You guys suck. You guys are this. You guys are that. You forget those times. Now you got Pittsburgh, like I say, not playing down to the level of their competition, out actually blowing out teams they should blow out, or just beating up on teams they should beat up on. That's what you need to do to get to that next level. Pittsburgh will play the top level team tough. So if you're going to play the top level teams tough, get these scraps out of the way. And that's the way I see it. And pad your record till you get to the playoffs. And hopefully you still continually beating up on the guys you should beat up on. And let me ask you this, guys. we got that out of the way. Russell came in. Russell did his thing. Justin Fields is on the bench. James, it's a long season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got both quarterbacks out there. Russell Wilson. You got Justin Fields, and like he said, the Steelers are in need of a wide receiver. But who should be the man going forward? Because before everybody was screaming that it should be Justin. Now everybody, after one game, everybody's saying that it should be Russell. I mean, what are your thoughts out there?
Well, to start with, like I said last show, I said it would be a big mistake of taking Fields out. He's 4-2. Yeah. They're getting better consistently every game moving forward. I believe would be statistically, it would be a big mistake to stop the momentum the Pittsburgh Steelers have achieved at this point and put in a new quarterback. Well, look at it. It's not like an average quarterback we're putting in there. This is Russell freaking Wilson. Okay, Super Bowl champion. I mean, he's got a lot of experience under his belt. Like I said, last year with the Denver Broncos, 28 passing touchdowns. Only 10 interceptions. He was sacked a plethora of times, because they didn't have an offensive line. So this is why we let the coaches make their decisions. And you know what? Now that we see we have a quarterback who is capable of throwing the ball down the field, and the difference between Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, as we talked about this last week, is Justin Fields is more of an escape quarterback. Okay. When he played for Chicago, it was more like he's trying to save his life, running all the time. But Justin Fields likes to call his own number, and he checks down and he will take off running as compared to Russell Wilson, who will either throw the ball away or he'll take the shot downfield, in which he did. The only problem is when you only have one wide receiver to throw to. Now we got Van Jefferson, we got Miller, Scotty Miller, we got Calvin Austin III, and we got two big, huge tight ends that you can throw to. But you do need that second number 2 wide receiver to take some pressure off of Pickens. They're double team, they're triple team. If you look back at the highlights and you see every time that he gets the ball thrown to him, it's very rarely it's one-on-one. It's usually double team or triple team pretty much every time the ball is thrown to him, because they have no one else to cover. I mean, yeah, you could single coverage these other guys, Von Miller and Scotty Miller and Calvin Austin III. You could single cover him or do some kind of zone. But when it comes to Pickens, you got to put at least 2 guys on him. Now, if we do get a number 2 wide receiver, this is the frustrating part. The Pittsburgh Steelers really need to bear down, get your hand, get in that pocket, get that checkbook out, and get another wide receiver. Now is the time when you strike when the iron's hot. This is when you need to get that other wide receiver to keep on pushing and scoring more points. Build confidence in the team, builds confidence in the offense coordinator to call different plays and better plays. But right now we're running at half mast. You got to go full mast. You got to go. And we need the trade deadline's coming up very soon. We need to get a number 2. I mean, Cooper Kupp would be I'd give up a number 2 for him. Unfortunately, he can't stay healthy. Yeah. So is it worth the risk, Sanders? I mean, yeah. we just can't get these washed up guys. Like they're talking about Mike Williams. I'm sorry, he's not washed up. He's a great wide receiver, but he's not a number 2. We need a number 1/2 wide receiver.
Yeah, we do. And that's the big thing with the Pittsburgh Steelers out there. I do want to answer some of the questions real quick. One of them said, "You're crazy if you think that it was Tomlin's decision to start Wilson that came from higher up." I disagree, because I watched a lot of outlets and they basically said they were all against Tomlin to not start Wilson. They didn't want Wilson to start. Tomlin said this has got to happen. He pleaded with them. This has got to happen. They let him make the call. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, everybody else said, he had his career hanging in the balance for this decision. This was a call that he made. You look it up. It's a call that Tomlin made to make happen. He made it. He pulled the trigger, and it worked. I mean, that's all I can say. It also another one that says Russ looked bad most of the game. Russell is a Band-Aid for 1-year rental. If the Steelers think that Fields could be their their future, that would invest into his development. they would invest into his development. And I think that's what it is. And like I said, I do believe that he is a Band-Aid for the moment. I mean, I'm not looking for him to be there forever. I'm looking for him.
Well,
not Fields. I'm talking about
Russell Wilson. Yeah, but when you say Band-Aid, okay, that totally downplays what Russell Wilson can do as a quarterback, what he's done as a quarterback. Band-Aid, that's kind of harsh. That's kind of, I would call it a Band-Aid, but what I would call it is somebody you want in your locker room for next season when we hopefully, or if we do draft a real quarterback in the first round. You want Russell Wilson in that locker room. You want Russell Wilson on that sideline. Why can't we utilize his skills now while he's still young enough to put the ball down the field and still healthy enough to be out there every Sunday and to do his job as a veteran quarterback? Yes, we want Russell Wilson in that clubhouse. So what the Pittsburgh Steelers do next offseason, as far as looking at drafting or getting a top number one quarterback that Russell Wilson can mentor, that's beautiful. Justin Fields, he still has a bunch of years ahead of him as well. Will be with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Don't know. But for right now, Band-Aid is a bad term to use for Russell Wilson. Yeah. And you know what? You got to knock the rust off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I agree.
You come into the game cold. I mean, it's the 6th game of the season or 7th game of the season. You haven't started. It's his first NFL start as a Pittsburgh Steelers in Acrisure Stadium. First start is his career as a Pittsburgh Steeler. And I don't care. You've been in the league long enough. It doesn't matter. You're still going to have a little, butterflies. You're still going to have a little nervousness. And it showed absolutely in the first quarter, getting into the late in the second quarter. So once Russell Wilson knocks the rust off, put him in again against the Giants, that bye week, get more involved in the offense. Because last week was the first week out of 6 games that he actually took snaps with the first team. So, yeah, there's going to be a little rust when he comes into the game. So it's expected.
A la Russ. Hey, guys, you know what? Like I said, we're going to go to a commercial break. I'm going to come back. I'm going to finish up answering a couple of those questions. You got to pay the bills. Also, we want to go over the stats from the game. Also, get your what you guys think is going to happen with the Steelers, with the Giants coming into Pittsburgh for another huge game, which is going to be another, I think it's a Monday night game this time.
Yeah, Monday night game.
But we'll check that out next up on Steeler Nation Live.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I'm a champion for inclusion. I'm raising funds and awareness for Best Buddies, an organization that creates opportunities for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Please help me reach my funding goals and donate to my campaign. Thanks for your help, Dave and Katie.
Hey guys, like I said, we wanted to run that commercial. Great cause. It's called Best Buddies.
Best Buddies.
And this is we actually had a caller that was online, Maria. Maria is very knowledgeable with the program and what it's all about. And she's gonna put a link down for you guys out there to support this program. If once you hear what it's about, you guys will be excited, and I think it's something you should go. Hey Maria, how are you doing today on Steeler Nation Live?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh yeah.
And thank you so much for supporting Dave and Katie. Best Buddies is a 501c3 nonprofit, and they create opportunities for one-on-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, inclusive living, and family support for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. That's their mission.
Yeah.
Dave is a Steelers fan. You guys know that.
He's all right.
And
Dave's okay.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's a good guy.
We'll keep him.
No, Dave's a great guy. Can't downplay what he's doing and the things he does off the field and out of work. Dave is an amazing guy, and it's all heart. And that's why he does it, because that's the kind of guy he is. And, the things that he brings to the table and stuff like, things like this to bring to people's attention where everybody can help and pitch in is amazing. We got to thank Dave for doing it. Also being a Steeler fan. Thank you.
I'll make sure he knows you said that. So thank you very much. This is a fundraising event, and he is in competition with other well-known people, some of them well-known, to raise money for Best Buddies. Their gala is a tailgate party. So the theme is football. So this falls right into Steeler Nation.
Sure.
And he is the only one that showed up for the kickoff wearing Steeler gear. He represented everybody else that was there that had football paraphernalia on were Bills fans. They all that I saw were all Bills fans. So he's trying to represent.
Well, of course,
he's hoping
yeah,
the Steeler Nation will come through and represent a little bit for him and Katie, because Katie is his mission partner, and she's a young adult who takes classes with Dave at Strike Back Martial Arts in his fitness class, and he's known her for about 5 years, I believe, and that is how he got involved with Best Buddies, because somebody in that class nominated him, and he's like, "Yep, I'm doing this."
Beautiful.
That's it.
So let me ask you this: how many times can somebody actually donate? Is there a number that you can't exceed, or is there a number that is minimal? And when is the deadline? I'm sorry. When is the deadline for your last chance to get into this opportunity?
The gala is November 8th. So up until that day, they'll take donations that count towards this championship. There is no limit that I know of as to number of times that you can donate. There are opportunities to buy tickets to the gala if you want to go. And the gala, again, it's a tailgate. It's football themed tailgate. So it's not like you have to go spend a lot of money on a fancy dress, which I wouldn't mind doing. But there's $75 a ticket. Donations, he will take anything, $1, $100, whatever people want to give.
Now, where's this gala gonna take place in the starting time that it's gonna happen?
Well, it starts at 6 p.m., I believe, and it's held here in Rochester. They have a VIP pregame at 6. Warm-up is at 7. First quarter starts at 7:30. Attire, again, is football attire, and the event location is 1900 Empire Boulevard in Webster, New York.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Nice.
That's what it's all about. Like I told you, Steelers represent. Steeler fans, go out there, represent your brother, represent it. Maria, could it be a possibility that you can put down links down into the page so that people can either link up or find out about it and find out how they contact, how do they give, and also you can put it on Steeler Nation Live. You can put it on my personal page, whatever. We'll push it because that's what we do here at Steeler Nation Live.
Absolutely, I will drop the link for the donation and the information page on your site.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Maria, beautiful job coming on Steeler Nation Live tonight, showing how a real Steeler fan does it. Tell Dave we got his back.
Thank you very much. You guys have a good night.
Thank you. Yeah. Wow. What a great cause. Yeah.
You know what?
Had to throw that in there, right? Nice. Timing's everything. Yeah. So speaking of timing, Sanders, we have San Fran Steve waiting in the wins here.
Oh yeah.
But before we get to San Fran Steve,
hold on, San Fran Steve, we got you coming because we want to talk Cowboys, 49ers.
Coming up.
To get dates on scores on that as well.
Yeah. So stats for the game: the Pittsburgh Steelers 409 total yards, penalties 4 for 36. The Jets 5 penalties. I mean, obviously they're not calling anything in this game. Time of possession is 32 for the Steelers and 27 some change for the Jets. The big thing about this: turnovers. Pittsburgh Steelers 0. the New York Jets 2. Now, we talked about this in the past, Sanders, and if the Pittsburgh Steelers do not create turnovers on defense, we're not winning ball games. Look at the 2 losses the Pittsburgh Steelers had this year. That's when we gave up the ball and didn't take the ball away. And also, back-to-back games from Najee Harris, over 100 yards and a touchdown. I think the bookies made out big in Vegas with that last second touchdown. I mean, 4th and 2, we give it to him just to extend the clock, and he runs for a touchdown. So Russell Wilson, 16 for 29, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns for Russell Wilson, 2 in the air, 1 ran it in. Pickens, 5 catches, 111 yards, and 1 touchdown. Could have had more, but those penalties, those non-called penalties, the pass interference, and you know what I like how they're calling that now. How they're not calling the penalties for pass interference contested. They're contested plays now. So if you go up and obviously you're being held and you can't catch the ball, whatever, no pass interference, it's called contested now. So get used to that verbiage for the rest of the remainder of the season, folks, because they're rarely going to call pass interference anymore. It's going to be a contested catch. Anyways, Pat Freiermuth, 2 catches, 51 yards. Beanie Bishop, the game ball, 2 interceptions against Aaron Rodgers. The first one was legit Aaron Rodgers screw up. The second one was because the wide receiver couldn't catch it, bounces off, and he gets a rebound.
I can't wait for him to call him out.
That's what usually happens to us. This you look at a pass to the Pittsburgh Steelers, how we turn the ball over, even with Roethlisberger throwing the ball around, deflections and bouncing off receivers, and that's how the team, gets these interceptions, and it's not good for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, really quickly, 24 for 39, 276 yards. Not bad, but it's not Aaron Rodgers-esque. 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Okay, and the funny thing about that is Beanie Bishop, I don't know if he's serious, after the game interview, he wanted to ask Aaron Rodgers to autograph his footballs that he intercepted. Let's see, Hall, he had 12 for 38 on the ground, 1 touchdown, but in the air he had 6 catches for 103 yards.
Oh yeah.
That sounds depleted to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Adams, who just came over from the Raiders, it's pretty ironic because the week before he played with the Raiders and we beat the Raiders, gets traded to the Jets and we beat him again. 3 catches for 30 yards. I mean, a couple passes he dropped, and there's a couple passes that weren't even close to him. But that's a stats on the Jets Steelers game, and the final score was 37-15, a really odd score. And the Pittsburgh Steelers scored 31 unanswered points in the second half, and that says a lot. Speaks volume of the Pittsburgh Steelers' resilience.
Yes.
To come in, start off on a slow note. Killing worms, Russell Wilson, and the defense letting Hall run all over the field, and to come back the second half and be resilient and not let that get them down, to come back, turn it around, 31 unanswered points. Pittsburgh Steelers final 37-15 against the New York Football Jets.
Hey guys, you gotta love it out there. Like I said, the Steelers out there doing what they need to do. Also, we want to thank Maria out there for he just putting something on the board down here. We want to thank Maria out there for she want to thank us so much for putting it up there. And you guys, like I said, this guy's a real class act, loves to help people, and she put the link down in the comments as well. Make sure you go down there and check it out as well. Thanks again, Dave, for what you do, and Maria, thanks for what you do.
Yeah, and you don't have to get a fancy suit. You don't have to rent a tuxedo. No. You get your best Steeler jersey you can. I mean, maybe wear the white with a sport jacket over it. I don't know, but that's a time you wear your football gear. You're tailgating inside. I believe it is. Rain or shine, it's going to happen. It's for a great freaking cause. Come on, go to the link, go to the website, donate, get your tickets, be out there. Steeler Nation Live will more likely be there as well. We'll have our Steeler gear on. We'll be, signing autographs, taking pictures with you guys. It sounds like a great night. And who benefits? Not me, not Sanders, not you, but the people who deserve it and who need it. And we got San Fran Steve just hanging out there.
There he
is. Nice. Woo! Look at this guy. Yeah. Thank you for being patient there, San Fran Steve. 49 not looking that good.
No, I told you a few weeks ago that we're not going to. They went from a promising year to a rebuilding year, all within a couple of weeks of each other.
Yeah, but I do believe the San Francisco 49ers, they have a lot of history behind them, that this is just, I'm thinking it's just a hiccup. Now, you want to talk about a depleted team. Jets not depleted. 49ers depleted. Okay, you just lost Ayuk. He's done for the year. McCaffrey, is he coming back? What's this? You would know of anybody. San Fran Steve, what's the word on McCaffrey?
Well, what the word is I'm hearing is he should be back after the bye week. So they got to deal with one more game with Dallas this weekend, and then they get it by. Hopefully, some of our team could actually get healthy and be prepared for the end of the season run. Playing in the NFC West, we do have the conference isn't that strong. It would help if Buffalo goes to Seattle and wins this week. That will be the records all be kind of close.
Well, you have a bye week this week, correct?
No, next week. We got Dallas this week. We got Dallas this week.
Okay, you got Dallas this week. Sunday Night Football, I believe, at home, Candlestick Park. I don't know what they call it now, but I'm calling it Candlestick. Even how depleted the San Francisco 49ers are, they still have, these so-called experts, have you guys beating Dallas Cowboys at home. Dallas, not depleted. 49ers depleted. What do you think's going on between what's your take on the game? What do you see the Dallas Cowboys doing as they come into Candlestick?
Like they usually do, just choke. That's what I'm hoping for.
Hey, I mean,
I'm hoping for another choke because right now Dallas hasn't been looking too impressive either. I'm if we could be serious about it, it's just like I think it's going to go to the overtime. It'll be a 13-13 tie going into the overtime, and we might be able to pull one out.
Well, I think you're right. The Cowboys defense is almost ranked last in the NFL, giving up an average over 30.8 points a game. These Dallas Cowboys defense, they started out strong during the year and they just fell apart. So even with that being said, do you think the 49ers are only going to score 13 points?
If we run the ball, we might have a chance because we watching that game on Sunday against the Chiefs, we knew the Chiefs they're 6-0 with Andy Dalton after a bye week. So it's just like it was going to be an uphill battle. I thought when the guy went after Trent Williams and he punched the guy back, I thought things would have sparked up. But who the hell wants to punch that guy? Look at what he did to Richard Sherman a few years ago when he played for Washington. He just like Sherman said. He goes, if you don't shut up, I'm going to punch you in the face. And Richard Sherman laughed, and the next thing you know, it was a right hook. It's just that game was very chippy. It's just like, I don't know why, it's just like that little push to Patrick Mahomes. Here's a 15-yard penalty. It's just like Mahomes got chippy. The whole team just got chippy on both sides, and it's just like, but it's over and over and over. It's just like no matter what the league wants to do, they're not going to let the Chiefs lose.
Yeah, and I like that one. I'm not saying I liked it, but the one play I'm going to recall that Mahomes had that long run, and then he looked as though he was going to ditch out of bounds, and he didn't. And he ran another 15 yards down the field, and I remember I can't remember the name of the 49er who was asked what happened on that play, and he said, I would have said the same thing. He goes, "Are you serious right now?" He said, "Because that's Mahomes, right?" He goes, if he's anywhere near the sidelines and you touch him, you're going to get called for a penalty. So they did the best they could to stop the play, but 100% spot on. I mean, he is more tenacious than Tom Brady ever was as far as getting calls his way. I mean, you touch him, and you get 15-yard penalty just by touch him in field. But if you have him along the sidelines, forget about it. I mean, nobody's going to want to tackle that guy. So if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you want to do running down the sideline, and he's going to score every time because nobody's going to want to touch him because
he plays sandlot football. That's what he plays. And if you look at it, what was it last year? Was it against I want to see, was it Green Bay that they were going to get ready to hit him, and all of a sudden Mahomes was still he was still in bounds, and they hit him. They get all the 15-yard penalty. Wait, once he's outside the tackles, he's free game.
Yeah, he's a running back now at this point.
But not according to the NFL, because according to the NFL, they're going to protect this guy because he's the golden boy of the league.
Hey, by the way, San Fran Steve, I had something that came up on the board. Cowboy Kenny said, "Tell San Fran Steve,
oh boy,
I'm coming for you."
Coming for bringing him dinner.
He said the Cowboy. He thinks the Cowboys are going to win. Hey guys, I definitely want to give us a score. That's a big game that's going to be over the weekend. Give us a score. Cowboys going down to San Fran. So San Fran Steve, give us a score in that game.
Well, I'm going to probably say 24-17 with us winning.
Oh, write it down. 24-17. 49ers. Now, San Fran Steve, we have the New York Football Giants coming into Acrisure Stadium next Monday night. The Giants are in the bottom of the division, 2-5. They don't look like they're going anywhere this year. And you want to talk about depletion. They just went to Philadelphia, and Saquon Barkley just ran all over them. Like I said, they're on a 2-game losing streak. The last time the Pittsburgh Steelers met the Giants was in the Meadowlands back in 2020. The Pittsburgh Steelers won 2016. Last 3 matches that the Pittsburgh Steelers and Giants played, we are 3-0 against them. Knowing what you know about that division, what do you see the score to be, and how do you think the Steelers are going to take care of the Giants on Monday Night Football?
First of all, you're playing against one of the worst quarterbacks in the league in Daniel Jones. I don't know how this guy has a job. It's just honest. He has nobody to throw to, nowhere to block for, no one to hand off the ball, and it's just like you might see their head coach get fired this year. That's how bad.
True.
Well, I mean, if you look at, I'm sorry.
I think you guys are going to win. I don't think you're going to have a 31 to what you guys just did to the Jets, because the Jets game, it was close until midway through the second or the third quarter. The interception turned it around for the whole. It was 16-18 at that time, or 17-18 at that time.
16-15. You're right.
Yep.
Yes. So it was real close until was it Garrett Wilson hit him in the shoulder pads and bounced off, and that's where you guys picked up, and that's where the momentum changed. So we'll give credit to
absolutely.
I'll give credit where credit's due. Your defense played well after that. Then your special teams, it's like this. Your special teams coach is beloved by everybody on that team. It's just like,
what was the last time you seen a team block 2 field goals in a single game? I've never seen
2 field goals, or is a field goal and an extra point?
Yeah, he's right. Field goal and extra point.
It's a field goal though. 2 field goals. Okay. Block 2 field goals. Easy.
It was 4 points. It wasn't 6. It was 4.
No, but I'm just saying. The kicker's kicking the field goal. Points have no matter. Points don't matter. But
now it's points don't matter.
The blocking. It's the blocking of the kick that I'm talking about. We'll talk about the score later. But the penalty that negated that block was ridiculous. Pushing off, I've seen it before, but when you're running through and you're touching people, you're running through a line. You're going to touch somebody. And for them to call that flag, ridiculous.
Oh, I thought they called that on something else on that play.
Leveraging.
Yeah, they called it leveraging.
Leveraging. He jumped between 2 players and touched them. Leveraging.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did leverage.
He skinned them.
He skinned them.
So, all right, let's talk about your special teams. That's definitely keeping you guys in the games for everything. Your special teams right now, what is it, 8 block punts or 8 blocked field goals in the last 3 years?
Yep.
Unheard of.
Yeah.
You're lucky a team gets one every 3 years. And you guys are running with 8. So
and we got a couple block punts in there too. So
I didn't look up your block punt stats, but I know you guys are hurting on another number 2 wide receiver. I think Cooper Kupp is way too injury prone to give up a number 2.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Yeah, I'd give up a number 2 for him, but he can't stay healthy. So why risk it? There's other receivers out there. Darius Slayton, he's a good pick that I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would pick up with
the Giants, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have a fire sale, so we'll get them cheap, maybe a 3rd or 4th round.
I tell you what, I know you didn't like Mike Williams, but he's always played the number 2 role when he was in
San Diego.
on the Chargers, and he helped his number 1 out a lot. So you got Mike Williams out there, you got Paris Campbell that just got cut by Philly.
Yeah, but
DeAndre Hopkins isn't going anywhere. So I guess if Mark would call in or attempt to, he says he keeps trying, but
Tennessee Mark.
And is it Tennessee Mark now, or is it Baltimore Mark? Who knows? He keeps changing his mind.
Yeah, I haven't seen him on the board. I mean, yeah.
But, no, he was on the board earlier, but then the first couple talking about Derrick Henry and
oh Lord.
But
yeah, but getting back to Mike Williams right now, and it's a good topic to talk about. He's a 3 at best, a 4 wide receiver now, and that was before Adams came to the team. So this is the kind of receiver that I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers should go after. I mean, 1, 2 at best. I mean, that's you draw the line. Anything lower than a 2, don't even waste your time, because we have 3 to 4 or 5 number 3 and 4 wide receivers right now, and we have Roman Wilson. Roman Wilson, come on, what's the story behind that? Anybody out there know? Call us 585-210-3917. Roman Wilson, number 3 draft pick, the best slot receiver in the draft last year. We got him in the 3rd round. Don't know how he fell to that, but we did. Hasn't played at pretty much. He had a couple snaps in one game this season. He's allegedly hurt again with a hamstring injury. Somebody hit the board. Let me know what's going on. I can't find anything out there.
Yeah, but
he would help the team immensely in addition to a number 2 wide receiver. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, I mean, that's a true statement. I mean,
also the true statement is but Adams, he lost to the Steelers, and when he played at Oakland, he comes back and plays the same garbage that he played with the Jets. And no, I'm not going to give the guy too much. He's an all-pro. He's an all-pro receiver. But when they played in Las Vegas, he was supposedly injured, and all of a sudden he gets traded, and he's
a hamstring. He had a hamstring injury.
Yeah,
go figure. It's just like.
Yep.
But there are some receivers out there, and it matters what you want to spend. It's just like, the fire sales are going to start, but when they're going to start, because so November 5th is the trade deadline or something like that. There's 2 weeks left or 10 days left, so there's not much time, and it's just like not everything. And I didn't think Adams was going to do much because
he went to the Jets with his heart. He didn't go with his head. He didn't go with his pocketbook either. I don't think they are paying him that much money. But you got to think about it. Who has a better chance of going to the Super Bowl, the Pittsburgh Steelers or the New York Jets? Who's throwing the football back there? I mean, yes, you have Aaron Rodgers, but look at what he's done so far with the weapons he already had.
Aaron Rodgers is garbage. He's never come back from the Achilles injury.
Nope.
He acts like he's back. He's 25 again, where he can just swing the ball. Yeah, the guy has a cannon. It just asked the Buffalo Bills when he threw out that 60-yard Hail Mary.
Oh yeah.
So he does have a cannon, but he's not mobile. He was never really mobile, but he's even less mobile now. And he never hits his checkdown backs or his checkdown receivers. So it's like Aaron's not as great as he used to be. And who's going to pick him up next year? Because this is the last year of his contract for the Jets.
No, he's going to be
done.
He's going to be in a booth with Tom Brady. And
God, that's going to be real fun.
That's another topic I want to talk about quickly, guys out there. Tom Brady, I believe he just became
part owner.
Yeah, part owner of a team.
Of the Raiders.
Yeah. So how is that going to work? So now check this out. He's part owner of the Raiders. Now, in ownership, you're not supposed to view any of the players' games. And as a broadcaster, you go into the players' facilities and you watch these games so you can get used to the players, talk to them, so you be ready for TV time. So I don't know how in the heck they're going to work this out.
It's Tom Brady. What's there to work out? It's Tom Brady.
And his
Roger Goodell loves this guy.
Tom freaking Brady.
And his contract is it's a huge contract that he got for doing this for broadcasting.
Don't matter. It's Tom Brady.
And he's garbage at broadcasting too. So
so before
he does Wait, first of all, I got to ask you guys, how did you listen to Chris Collinsworth all night long? He's just like, did you put it on mute and just like, because Chris Collinsworth will kiss one person's ass and kiss the next person's ass and kiss the next person's ass.
He doesn't cheat on Mahomes. He'll never do that. And you know what? He's the Joe Buck of football.
Joe Buck.
Yeah, Joe Buck, who never played a sports in his whole life.
Oh, Jesus.
That's one thing. We got to have a segment on the worst broadcasters out here, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, let's get James. We need to give a shout out and apologize to the bartender at Bathtub Billy's, because when we met on Monday, we thought we were going to have a show on Tuesday. And
that's
Jonas Furnace decided to blow up. So
we'll do a little shout out for Bathtub Billy's. Great fire pizza, and they got activities going on there. You got bands coming out there. It's just Bathtub Billy's, great food, great time. Get out there, enjoy some drinks and some good food, good band. The Fat Cats. If you've never heard of the Fat Cats, check out their schedule. Look them up, fatcats.com, I believe. And great band, great music. Bathtub Billy's in the mall, Westridge Road, Greasetown Mall, whatever you want to call it, Long Ridge Mall, whatever you want to call it. They're in there. Bathtub Billy's. But before I let you go, San Fran Steve, we got to get a score. Giants, Steelers.
Yep.
Giants coming into town next Monday Night Football. Go.
27-6.
27-6 Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Why do you even question that? Well, close. I got to give the Giants a little bit more credit. I'm going to say 33-16 Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to keep on that 30-point plus roll, going to keep on going into the bye week. So 33-16 Steelers over the Giants.
I like that.
Well, like I said, I'm not sure how. Like I said, just like you beat up my quarterback.
Listen, the Giants.
I'm not happy with you. I don't think either one of your quarterbacks is the answer. I think you need to definitely go in and
oh, absolutely,
draft one this year, because it's
I
don't know. I mean, I don't really know who's out there for next year, so you can watch. The kid from Texas, the Longhorns. But look at he suffered. He really sucked during playing. Was it Georgia?
Yeah, it was.
They brought in and Manning was at least able to put points on the board. So I'm not sure how big the quarterback class is, but if it's a wide receiver class, you can pick up a half a decent one in the second round, save yourself some money. I'd do that too.
There you go. You're a San Fran Steve.
All right, Steve. Another great show, another great time. You coming on, brother. I appreciate you, man. And we'll see if San Fran loses. I guess I expect to see his pretty face back on the screen.
Oh, absolutely. We'll split screen with Cowboy Kenny.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not worried about Kenny. So,
oh boy.
Hey, if I see you stand up one more time with that Tomlin shirt, I might be throwing up. So, you guys have a good night.
We'll get one.
Go ahead. Get to him. Russ, got the Russell Wilson jersey kicking?
Come on, let's get it slow. Do the slow motion movie. Look at that. Look at that, Tom. Look at that. Easy.
Russell Wilson.
Easy. Look at the shades. Easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey,
wow.
But guys, like we said, hey, all seriously, thanks to San Fran Steve, checking him out, coming on, doing this thing on Steeler Nation Live. Also, we want to thank Dave, doing this thing with Best Buddies. It's a lot of things going on with that. Make sure you check out the links that I put in here. I still got a couple other things I want to talk about as well.
Absolutely.
Actually, we talked about the Giants. We talked about the QB. Everybody out there, they're thinking Russell should be the guy. James, you're saying you think Russell should be there a little bit longer, starting position?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, next game against the Giants, these are good games to work into down the road for future games. These games that we should win and games where you can make mistakes and overcome them. Well, we're getting, after the bye week, we're going to be getting those games where you can't make any mistakes. And that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers have been doing, winning games by not making mistakes, making other teams make the mistakes. And this is going to be a test for the Pittsburgh Steelers coming. Giants, let's not overlook it. Let's not look past the Giants, because once you do that, that's when you make mistakes. One game at a time. But for our aspect, my perspective of the future, it's going to get nuts. Once we come back after the bye, we go down to Washington, play the Commanders, and then that's when we start playing our division rivals. I think we're at home against the Ravens. Then we go to Cleveland. Then we go to Cincy. Then we come back home for Cleveland. It's going to be nuts, folks. So just freaking buckle up and be prepared for a nice wild ride later on. But like I said, one game at a time. New York Football Giants coming to town next Monday night. The weather's supposed to be good, cold, chilly, crisp. A football night for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And guys, make sure you stay up late. It's going to be a Monday night game. You know, we had a Sunday night game, and I mean, it keeps getting crazier and crazier. So, James, let me ask you this,
sure.
and you guys out there who are on the board, if Pittsburgh goes into Washington and destroys Washington, let's say if they do, what's going to be the things that are going to be saying out there now? Washington was depleted.
Washington depleted.
Washington was this or that.
We're lucky.
Yeah. And let it be known. I'm saying it right here on the show tonight.
Uh-oh.
I believe another game's out with the bye week. I believe the Steelers are gonna upset and beat the Baltimore Ravens. We've done it before.
Well, I wouldn't say an upset. I mean, just
now remember now, Pittsburgh beat the Baltimore Ravens with Kenny Pickett. Might have been twice, if I think.
Yes.
And maybe it was twice.
Yeah, we swept him last year with Kenny Pickett.
Kenny freaking Pickett. So
he's eating cheesesteaks right now in Philly. That's all he's doing.
That's always tasty, man.
So next week, folks, let's do it. The worst commentators in the NFL. We're not going to talk about baseball. Joe Buck, New York Yankees, LA Dodgers, World Series. Last time they met, 40 years ago. This is going to be it. Yankees, Dodgers, World Series. If you're not watching Steelers, watch them damn Yankees. Take another title. Not since 2009 if the New York Yankees won their last World Series against the Philadelphia Phillies. Pittsburgh Steelers going to win it all this year. But game to game.
That's it.
We'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for coming out to Steel Nation Live.